Yeah, absolutely delighted for everyone at the club, our supporters, our owners, my chairman, Muko, my chief executive, Prashant, Rohit, the team manager, everybody that cares so much about Jamshedpur. Obviously, as the head coaches, players, they come and go, but it's important when you are at a club that you give everything you can for them, which I've done. I've absolutely loved the 2 years working with everybody here. And it's great to get the prize at the end of it because we deserved it. We've earned it. Nobody gave us it. We've had to work ever so hard. We've actually had to win 10 of our last 11 games, and we'd actually been doing well up to that point with 13 points from 9 games. I think we're sitting in 4th or 5th, thinking, yeah, we can get in this top 4. And then obviously the run, I changed things up in January, brought Daniel Shima in to add a little bit to us as well and freshen things up and got them all together as we did moving forward. And we've been terrific. I think we're the best defensive record in the league. I think we must be close to being the top goal scorers as well, one off it or whatever it is. So at both ends of the park, we've shown that we're a top team, and we've been the best team in the country. We're the best team in the ISL. We've won it on merit, 43 points. I think that's another record as well. It's incredible. So all credit to the players. They'll work their socks off, and it's nice, particularly the young Indian players, when I see the improvement in them. Of course, it gives you a source of satisfaction, and I'm delighted for every one of them. So yeah, absolutely very, very pleased. Very tired, but very, very pleased. Yeah, well, they all know what their role and their responsibility is within the team. So that's very clear, and we define what their job is within the team, and the demands coming from getting to that standard. And I'm not going to let off, because when I see improvement, I don't want players, if I equate it to a ladder, I don't want to see them climbing the ladder and then all of a sudden they fall down to the bottom. We have to keep striving to get to the top of that ladder, and that's the demands I put on them, to play at a high level, be consistent, play at such a high intensity. I mean, the fitness levels we have is incredible. We've had all sorts of injuries, lots of trials and tribulations. Mobashir missing the night, a bizarre suspension. I didn't even think it was a red card, never mind meriting, I've got to say, never mind meriting an extra game. He was entangled with Mishra. He tried to push his leg away. Mishra didn't even require treatment, and he's given an extra game. I couldn't believe that, but we got on with it. Jitendra and Boris just came back from injury, hadn't even trained. We took Boris off to protect him because he looked as if he had a little niggle again. And the boys keep coming in, young Sandeep, everybody that steps into the play. Jordan Murray's still not 100% fit, but when he is, my goodness, what a top player you've got. Shima's been brilliant with Greg Stewart, the boys at the back. So I can't praise them highly enough. The demands are that we keep striving to be the best we can be, but knowing your job within the team. And that's very evident from this Jamshedpur team. Every one of them knows what they're doing, when they have to do it. When we go together, and we do everything as a team. Well, it's an insatiable appetite to win games, and that desire, that fire in your stomach that gets you up every morning to be the best you can be. And of course, when you start to win, then momentum builds and belief builds and confidence builds, and knowing that we've got good players. Even when the games are tight, we know we have a goal in us at the other end because of the quality of Murray, of Shima, of Pandita, of Stewart, of Ritvik, of Len, of Boris, Komal when he's there, Farouk, who's missed the whole season, Farouk and Komal. I mean, we've missed those two. They're two wonderful players, and we're thinking of them at this moment because they're a huge part of our team. So yeah, that's what it is. It's knowing your job, building that momentum, and going on winning runs. I've did it before. I mean, I took Chennai from the bottom of the league, and probably in another day would have won that playoff final as well. So we know how to do it. Listen, you don't work at the highest level I have without being capable of doing your job. And it's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed my spell in India. I've enjoyed every moment of it. And obviously that's been borne out by the amount of games that I went on to win as a head coach. No, very much so. I have nothing but praise for how ATK go about the business. That's form is temporary in football. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I've been on both sides myself. But the one thing that is very evident was tonight about the genuine class that ATK have, and that's led by the coach Juan Fernando. He's an outstanding young coach. He's going to go into a huge success. You've already seen the run he's been on at ATK. We knew this was going to be a challenging game tonight, and it was. Every moment they challenged us in different ways. They've got wonderful players, but that it was a genuine touch of class when they remained at the end, and they even stayed longer than probably anybody else would have. So I've got nothing but praise and say a big thank you to them. And but that's the genuine class. And to be fair, they're going to be a big danger for anybody to in the playoffs now, because that's a top team. They've been on a good run, and they'll pick themselves up and go again. They've got wonderful players, and we were tested at various times tonight, but we came through that test, which is great for us. But genuine class from ATK Mohun Bagan, and thank you very much for that. It's very much appreciated from us. Yeah, well, I have been in the stadium, but it was as the opposition head coach. My first game in India was the Chennai head coach against Jamshedpur. 1-1 when Farouk scored with his hand in the 93rd minute to get in. Crystal John was the referee, incidentally, and allowed the goal. But anyway, So I know what the atmosphere is like. The pitch it was like a bowling green, it was like Wembley. Fantastic surface, great atmosphere, the crowd, they got behind their team, they kept pushing the team on because they're 1-0 down. So I was aware of that. Obviously COVID hasn't allowed that to happen, but for the fans, that's primarily who we do everything for. You want to put a smile on their face. We know the support we've been getting from them, and I say thank you again for that. Keep those messages coming, because our social media team let everybody know that everybody's behind you. We're not the biggest club in the league, we know that. We're not the biggest spenders, we're probably down near the bottom end, probably in the bottom 2 in terms of budget, but we know how to put a team together. We know how to put those players that can't get a game for other teams. I know how to bring them in, I know how to develop them, I know how to improve them with the cooperation of the players, because I can only do so much. The players are the ones that should get all the credit, because they're the ones, when they step on the field, they deliver on everything we speak about in training on a daily basis. So I'm delighted for everyone, for everybody in Jharkhand. Hopefully it puts Jamshedpur on the map, and long may it continue. Yeah, I mean, listen, 2 very, very tough games against a wonderful side, an outstanding coach. I mean, somebody out with the footballing side I have so much time for on a personal level. We got on really well. We played each other twice in pre-season, we spent a bit of time chatting, and then during the season the same thing. So he's a wonderful man, outstanding man. We know they're a very, very good team with some terrific players and some great young Indian talent as well. So that's great to see. So it'll be 2 very positive teams going all out to win those semi-finals to try and get in the final. So there's a lot of hard work ahead of us. But we'll enjoy tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll get up fresh and we'll get ready with our plan for Kerala Blasters. Well, that's it. Enjoy tonight. Then obviously it's about recovery tomorrow, and then the day after we're straight back into it. We've had to play 3 games in the last 6 days. The boys are out on their feet, but we know how to get them back on side, ready for big games. We've shown that tonight again, and that's what we need to do, because Kerala Blasters, Hyderabad, you've seen ATK Mohun Bagan tonight. There's not a lot between the teams. On any given day I would suggest that anybody can win, they really can. But what we've shown is over 20 league games that we're the best team in the country. We've shown that, because over 20 games doesn't lie. That tells you who the best team is, and that's been us over that period. But when you come into a cup competition, which the playoffs is, then of course those games are fraught with danger. So we have to make sure we're ready for those matches.